Lonely CEO millionaire leaves his safe open to test his maid. What she did next. Ethan Drake was a man who had everything: wealth, power, and a name that could open doors anywhere in the world. But his sprawling mansion in the hills was quiet, almost painfully so. His life was a routine of board meetings, private flights, and empty dinners. The only person he saw daily was Maria, his new maid. She was quiet, polite, and never intrusive. She didn't fawn over him like others did. That alone intrigued him. One rainy afternoon, Ethan decided to test something. He was tired of people loving him for his money or pretending to. He wanted to know if Maria was different. When she entered the study to clean, she noticed something odd. The large safe behind Ethan's desk was ajar, its steel door wide open. Inside, stacks of cash, velvet boxes of jewelry, and important documents gleamed under the soft light. Her eyes widened for a moment. Then she glanced around. No cameras in sight, no sign of Ethan. She walked toward the safe. Her hand hovered over the stacks of $100 bills. But instead of taking anything, Maria did something Ethan didn't expect. She closed the safe gently, turned the lock, and left a small note on his desk. When Ethan came in later, he saw the note in her neat handwriting. "Sir, I believe you left this open. Some things are worth more than money, like trust." Ethan stared at it for a long moment, something unfamiliar stirring in his chest. The next day, he didn't just give Maria a raise, he asked her to sit and have dinner with him. For the first time in years, the house felt less empty, and for the first time in his life, Ethan realized that loyalty could be richer than gold. Ethan Drake was a man who had built empires. From a tiny garage startup to a multinational conglomerate, he was the definition of success. But at 43, success felt hollow. His mansion in the hills was immaculate, yet quiet to the point of suffocating. The only regular voice in the house belonged to Maria Alvarez, his newly hired maid. She was different from the others. She didn't try to impress him, didn't pry into his life, didn't act starstruck by his wealth. She did her work with quiet dignity, humming soft Spanish lullabies as she dusted and cleaned. Ethan found himself lingering longer in rooms she worked in, just to hear the faint sound of her voice. One rainy Thursday, an idea took root. For years, Ethan had been surrounded by people who only wanted one thing: his money. He needed to know if Maria was the same. He left his study that afternoon with the large steel safe behind his desk, purposely left ajar. Inside were stacks of $100 bills, a collection of rare diamonds, and contracts worth millions. It was bait, and he hated himself a little for setting the trap. When Maria stepped into the study, she immediately noticed the open safe. She froze. A small gasp escaped her lips. She walked closer, her heart thudding. "Sinner Drake," she called softly. No answer. She stared at the cash, the jewelry. For a moment, her hand trembled near the edge of the door. She thought of her mother back home, struggling with medical bills. Her little brother who dreamed of college. One handful of cash could change everything. Maria squeezed her eyes shut and took a deep breath. Slowly, she pushed the heavy door, closed until it clicked shut. She locked it and glanced around for a piece of paper. She found one on the desk and scribbled in neat handwriting. "Sir, I believe you left this open. Some things are worth more than money, like trust." She placed the note on the polished mahogany and quietly left the room. Ethan returned later and saw the safe locked tight. His eyes fell on the note. He read it once, twice. His chest tightened in a way he hadn't felt in years. The next morning, Maria came to work as usual. She was wiping down the kitchen counters when Ethan stepped in. "Maria," he said, his voice softer than usual. She turned, slightly startled. "Yes, sir." "You closed the safe." Color rose to her cheeks. Yes, sir. I didn't think you could have taken everything in it." Maria's gaze dropped to the floor. Some things aren't mine to take. Ethan smiled faintly, something warm breaking through the walls he'd built around himself. You're right. And some things can't be bought, either. He set an envelope on the counter. That's a raise. And tonight, you're not working. You're having dinner with me. Maria's eyes widened. Sir, I know arguments, he said gently. I owe you more than money for what you proved yesterday. That evening, for the first time in years, Ethan's massive dining hall wasn't silent. Maria's laughter filled the room, soft and warm, and Ethan found himself smiling more than he had in a decade. The test he'd set for her revealed more than loyalty. It revealed what he'd been missing all along, someone genuine, someone who saw beyond the wealth and the walls. And as he looked at Maria across the candlelit table, Ethan realized something that made him richer than any bank account ever could. Trust wasn't just worth more than money. It was the key to everything.